Welcome to Chat with Leaders. Our mission is to give resilient servant leaders a platform for sharing the inspiring things they're doing to lead their teams, customers, and themselves wisely. I'm today's host, Jeff Baum with AppBerry, where we build custom web and mobile apps. And I'm proud to introduce as today's guest, Irene Abbou, a terrific certified life coach with happiness within reach. Welcome, Irene.
Hi, thank you so much for having me, Jeff. It's such a pleasure to be here with you today.
It's a pleasure to have you, and I appreciate your gift of time. Life coaching is such an incredible gift to leaders. We talk often on this show about the importance of leading ourselves. And a lot of the times it's the hardest person to lead. But if we're not fit mentally and physically and our overall happiness isn't in check, then how are we to be fit to lead others? So I'm really excited to pick your brain tonight and talk to you about that and hopefully get a little bit of your wisdom drawn out.
Amazing. I'm totally excited myself.
All right. Well, let's have some fun. My very first question that I have for you, Irene, is really for you to share, if you don't mind. When you were 39, you were earning a six-figure income. You said you were wealthy but miserable. You decided to seek out a life coach for yourself, and it changed everything. So, can you tell us a little bit more about that story?
Yeah, that is true. I don't know if I would consider myself wealthy, as that is so subjective, but we definitely had a really a nice lifestyle for LA for kids in our
Fortunate.
30s. A fortunate lifestyle, absolutely,
Sure.
yeah. For young people in our 30s with two children. Yeah, so my journey started in the fashion industry. I was running and managing my own denim brand called Yanuk Jeans. And everything was really, really wonderful for the first 6 years, let's just say. And then the years just kept passing. I had kids. I mean, I got married, then I had kids. The amount of traveling that I had to do was excessive. I was away from the kids probably like a good week, if not a little bit more per month. I think as you age, your values start to shift as well. And I found myself, I kind of hit rock bottom. I was a little bit out of sorts. I was a little bit spiraling downwards because I didn't really have the skills to do anything else but the garment industry, or so I thought. But I desperately wanted out. So yes, as you said, I ended up hiring a life coach, which I didn't even know what that was, but my mom had mentioned life coaching. So I was like, all right, let's try. Yeah.
That's
And
great. That's great. And then I know that it's changed a lot. We'll jump into that. And I'd love to
yeah.
pick your brain a little bit more about, what you've learned and how you've honed this craft yourself. It meant so much to you that you have become a life coach yourself. And I'm sure that there's plenty of people listening that can identify with that feeling. I certainly can empathize with it as a parent of three young children, not wanting to travel and to be present in their lives. So I applaud you for being self-reflective and taking that leap into something that you were unfamiliar with. And here we are today. So talk to me about why you talk about life coaching, the importance of desired or core desired feelings being the first step into truly understanding your strengths, purpose, and how to apply them.
Yes. Wow, you have a really good memory. Yes. So core desired feelings is actually my week one. I have a course called 90 Days to Happy. That's my very first topic that I talk about. You would really be surprised how so many people can tell you what they don't love about their lives. But when you ask them, so what is it that you actually want to do? What direction do you want to go in? Where would you like to be in 5 years or even in 10 years? They draw a blank because they don't know. They really don't know. They know that they don't enjoy the life that they're leading right now. So I start with the core desired feelings because even though you're going to hear people say, I would like to buy a home, I would like to be married within the next year, I would like to have a career where I can have an executive position. That really is all leading to a desired feeling. Every single thing that they tell you, they're desiring the feeling. They're not desiring what they're telling you that they're desiring. They're desiring the feeling that this is going to give them.
Do you
So,
find that people struggle to share that, maybe particularly the type A personalities that are maybe thinking of that as the touchy feely stuff, or the stuff that, oh, I don't need to talk about my feelings and things like that? Is that a hard thing to draw out with those types of people?
I do actually work primarily with the more masculine driven people. So it could be male or female. Um, but the women that I work with definitely are more type A, I would say, which is amazing because they get things done and they're productive, and they usually are making a really great living. They're just hitting a point in their life where they feel that they've done every single thing that they set out to do, and they're like, well, why am I not happy right now? What is going on? Like, I did everything I was supposed to do, right? Um, so yeah, they were very much focused on the extrinsic goals and not so much on how those things were going to make them feel. There was not so much meaning. There's not a lot of meaning in their lives because they didn't know that that was something that they should even be striving for. That's not what we're taught.
I think a lot of people struggle with that. I've certainly struggled with that at points in my life. And I've realized when there's more clarity of purpose and understanding of your internal belief system
Yeah.
and your feelings, and you're vulnerable to those, and you recognize them, it's much easier to align yourself with those things that are similar to your passions and your purpose. And it's much easier to conduct your work and to grow professionally as a leader, or as just, everyone has the opportunity to lead, but as just a professional in general, because you have more self-awareness, more happiness, more alignment, more clarity. So what you're
Yes.
saying, I've certainly experienced myself, and I can validate through my experience. uh, as a life coach, you spend a lot of time building on people's confidence to overcome fear of failure. I think that's another
Yes.
really important element. It's a characteristic that leaders need to be able to get past. You could play the what if game all day long, but actually knowing, like, really jumping into adversity and not being afraid to fail, that's really important. So how do you work with people that are pursuing leadership to get past that fear of failure?
I think once I can guide them to understand that failure is our best friend, because truly without failing, we are never going to get to our final goal. Because when the fear of failure is holding us back, we're not taking steps forward. We're kind of just like being like, oh, we're okay, complacent. It's good enough, but good enough is not good enough. Good enough is not going to get you to your overarching goal. Let's just say it's not going to get you to your overarching goal professionally, and it's sure as hell not going to get you to your overarching goal relationally if you have a hard time with communication and interpersonal relationships, be it professionally or personally. So I like to teach them. I like to try and um, support them in understanding that confidence is a skill, that no one is born with it, that all of us can cultivate it. There's a saying in AA that says, bring your body where it's supposed to be. And that's my step one. Literally, like, what's your goal? Okay, your goal is, I want to run. I want to see myself as a runner. Okay, great. So goal one is you got to bring your body outside or bring your body to the gym, right? So take that first action step. So take that action step, bring your body where it's supposed to be, and do what you have to do. And let's just say you said you were going to run 2 miles, right? Okay, you ran a mile and a half. You didn't really get to the 2 miles. That's okay. adjust, pivot, do what you have to do to next time you get on that treadmill or next time you go outside, what could have been missing that you didn't get to that 2 miles? Did you not have enough calories in your system? Did you go to sleep at 2 in the morning? So waking up at 6 in the morning was a nightmare. You have to see where you have to pivot, right? And then you adjust. So you make little adjustments. You fail, and then you repeat again. It's so simple. It's just like get your body where it's supposed to be. Take action. Fail, adjust, repeat.
Take action
And
again.
yeah, you just
And
keep
reserving
going.
judgment, don't be your own worst enemy. It kind of goes back to that first point you
Yeah,
said
oh my
about
God, what a
leading
great
ourselves wisely, but also reserving judgment of yourself, but not allowing judgment of others to scare you to death either. I mean, obviously, for me,
point.
putting out podcasts and jumping on video, and we could mince our words, or we could say something stupid on
Oh
this
my God,
show, but
for
we still put
sure.
it out there. But who cares? I mean, it's just being
It's
vulnerable enough to say it doesn't matter how people judge you or think of you or how you think of yourself. Just go for it, and do something that you're
yes.
passionate about. And so long as you're focused on that, and you have that bias for action, and you
I,
keep repeating, you can have
yes.
that resiliency built up, right?
Yeah, I love that you said that, because if you talked about you and getting on the podcast, and you could say anything stupid, and what are people going to think? But if you ask anybody, who are the people that they admire most, 9 times out of 10, they're going to say someone that has been open enough and vulnerable enough and transparent enough to show who they truly are. 9 times out of 10. That's why we admire people, because they've succeeded, but they've done it in a way where you can tell that they're being true to who they are. They're authentic. They're in integrity. So yes.
And now more than ever, I feel like leaders have this opportunity to demonstrate that vulnerability, the humility, the humanization aspects are coming out so much because we're all in this pandemic of 2020 together, and we're
Yes.
isolated, we're worried, we have anxieties, we have family issues we're dealing with, trying to
Yeah.
work from home, kids. There's just a
Yeah.
lot of things that people are going through right now. And now more than ever, we can actually strengthen our relationships as leaders with our teams by being a real person, right? Being authentic, like you said. And
Yeah.
so I think that's a really good point. Last question I had for you, Irene. What is the importance, and you kind of touched on this a little bit earlier, but I really want to hone in on this, because identifying your own personal core values and
Oh
your own
yeah.
personal purpose in order to apply that into a fulfilling leadership career and life is so important, yet it's so hard. Why do you think that's so hard? But more importantly, why do you think that's so important?
Okay. I love that you asked this question, because core desired feelings combined with your top four core values, that is like the light at the end of the tunnel. So if you can identify the way you want to feel most of the day, every day, and you also know what your values are who you are when no one is watching. It's inside of you. It's a compass, right? It's like I said last time, it's like the gold at the end of the rainbow, because it allows you to see who you need to be is the word, not do what you need to do, but who you need to be to create the most authentic, fulfilled version of yourself. So that's why it's so important. So also needs are very important as well. So I work with clients on both simultaneously. So understanding the difference between your needs, which sometimes makes you do things you're not so proud of, but your values will always lead you to good. It will always lead you down the right path where you want to go.
Love it. Thank you so much for that. And thank you for your authenticity and vulnerability and jumping on here with me to have such important, meaningful dialogue. I hope that many people can gain from that, and I appreciate the life work that you do to really pour into others and serve people in a meaningful way, to help them really actualize that purpose and those values and their core feelings. And so, as we close out today, I'd like to try to close with some sort of a call to action, but as it pertains to leaders who are going through the here and now, the pandemic of 2020, it's a very anxious and uncertain time. What advice do you have for leaders as it pertains to how they're leading their team?
I would say reach out and support and really be there, especially if you're managing a team of people. Really let them know that even though they're not seeing you every day at the office, that you're there, that you really care about what's going on in their lives, and you understand how difficult it is, and let them know that they can come to you, and that it's not because they don't see you that you're not there. And as you said, people are really, really having a hard time right now. And they're juggling little kids, and they're juggling loneliness if they're not married and they don't have kids. And I think just knowing that um, your boss or the person that's leading you or right above you, um, in your profession, is there and understands, and you don't have to be shy about what's going on, is huge and will make all the difference.
So well said. Irene, tell us how people would get a hold of you if they wanted to learn more about your business or life coaching or anything else to connect with you.
I think the easiest way to get in touch with me would be on my website. It's happinesswithinreach.com. Or Instagram, it's irene.abbou, Abbou.
Excellent. So we will also post that with our show notes to our website when we release the audio podcast. We'll be getting out the video episode very soon, and we are so thankful for your gift of time, Irene. If you have any suggestions as to how we can make this show better, you can email myself, Chris, Tim at info@chatwithleaders.com, or follow us on social media. Our handle is @chatwithleaders for Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, and Instagram. Irene, thanks again for your gift of time and remarkable leadership.
Thank you.